Hello beautiful soul, and welcome to Manifest with me, Rebecca G. I'm your manifestation, meditation and mindset coach who blends equal measures of soul, strategy and a little sprinkle of science on the side. Consider me your modern day pink witch with my spiritual toolbox packed full of ideas to energize and inspire you and to put the action into the law of attraction. Let this podcast be your weekly fix because, my beautiful soul, it is time to turn your vision board into a reality. Hello everybody and welcome to my beautiful podcast, Manifest with me, Rebecca G. I'm joined today by the beautiful Kate, also known as Koko online, who I am a massive girl fan of. Huge girl crush on this girl. So I'll put the links for all her stuff. Don't worry, you can go and follow her. You must follow her. She's incredible. So Kate is a mindset and manifestation coach like myself and someone who speaks truth, who is all about teaching us about mindset and manifestation, but in the real way. And I love it. There's no bullshit with you. I just love it, how real you are online. So tell me, first of all about you, where you're from, let our audience get to know you and kind of like how you fell into the world of this wonderful world of manifestation, actually.
Of course. Firstly, thank you so much for that intro. What a lovely intro. Thank you so much. It's an absolute privilege to be on here. You know, I was a bit nervous, but now I'm like raring to go and it's all going to be good. So my name is Kate. I'm from Ireland, if you didn't get the accent. I moved to England about 9 years ago. So I've been here ever since, and I live with my fiance, but we had a lot happened in 2023. That's where my journey into manifestation started, which has completely overhauled my life. It's completely 180'd my life, and it's just getting better and better. And I'm so excited, and I'm just getting started. Yeah. So I kind of started my journey. I suppose I've always been into manifestation, but more the trendy side. You know, everyone's like, oh, we'll manifest some money. We'll manifest a car. We'll manifest a designer handbag. Yeah. But a lot of people don't understand the, I suppose, neuroscience behind it. I don't fully understand that myself, but I'm saying how it impacts our entire life. It's something that we do 24/7 on autopilot, and a lot of people don't get that. Yeah. And a lot of the time we're screwing ourselves over a lot because we don't realize our belief systems that we built up from, you know, our childhoods, from past events, circumstances. We bring that into our adult life, and we're manifesting these awful circumstances for ourselves. So I kind of started understanding that. Of course, I came across a TikTok. I always find out so much stuff on TikTok. TikTok is my biggest source of information.
I learn, if I want to learn anything about an illness or just generally anything, I go on TikTok as a search on there now.
Engine. Yeah, 100%. I love it. But I came across some TikTok videos and I was like, okay, actually, this is a lot more in depth than just like this trendy thing that people keep talking about. Yeah. So I said I'd do a little bit more research, and I started like podcasting and getting books. My first ever manifestation book was, well, not manifestation, but Law of Attraction, was Esther and Jerry Hicks. Yes. Obsessed, like Abraham Hicks.
Me too. I remember when I first heard it, my mum had listened to it before me, and I was like, Mum, what is this? She was like, she had to explain to me how it worked. I was quite young, yeah.
No, but sure, this was all new to me. So that whole thing about them channeling this entity, I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. I don't like that. That's weird. And then I was like,
we talked about this before we came on live, and I always think conversations I always have, I should hit record immediately because you always have such an amazing chat. So, but you mentioned that you were religious. Christian, is that because of that? Yeah, you're Christian.
I think so, because I grew up as a Christian and a Seventh-day Adventist, and I still believe in God. And maybe my idea of God has slightly changed, but I still believe in a power. Yes, and I pray, and my family are religious. So I think the whole channeling thing, I think my belief system has always been channeling something as a very dark, evil kind of thing, like a demonic kind of thing. Yeah. But obviously it isn't at all once you actually start diving into it.
But that's brave of you to be like, okay, I'm not going to listen to my past and my conditioning there. I think something curious is telling me that this is like not. That's really good, because for other listeners to hear that who maybe are religious and poo-pooing the idea.
Yeah, no, 100%. I know my mother would probably say different because she doesn't like that stuff. So I don't know if she wants to listen to this podcast, if I'm honest.
All right.
Sorry, Mom. But but yeah, so then I started, it was called Ask and It Is Given. Have you read that book?
I have. I've got it right in front of me on my bookshelf.
Amazing. Yeah, that was the first book I read, and I was just like, it was like a light bulb moment. I was like, oh my
You,
gosh.
you literally read those books and you're like, how does no one else know about this? Yeah.
Oh, like literally, I was like, so I'm the one that's created this my entire life. I'm the one that, like, because I used to be I like, to get real here, I used trigger warning about mental health, but I used to be very depressed
Yeah.
and anxious, and I would put on this mask a lot of the time, and I was never like my true authentic self. I think it was just my way of, I think I was always worried about being perceived a certain way.
Yeah.
So I had to put on this like animated, like, oh, I'm fun and I'm happy all the time. But inside I wasn't dealing well. And I don't think a lot of, yeah,
Exactly the same. And I think you
yeah,
find that a lot with spiritual people as well. They're like
exactly.
either drinking loads or taking naughty things that we should have done
Substances.
when we were younger, or
Yeah.
just being the party animal, the life and soul. And
Yeah.
actually, when you learn all of this work, you're like, oh my God, I'm more lit from this than any night out I've ever been on.
Yeah, 100%. And I used to use humor a lot. I think Irish people are quite funny. Like we got a good sense of humor, don't we? But that was my coping mechanism. I'd be like, oh, I'm just a depressed girly. I'm just an anxious girly. It's so ridiculous.
But so many people label themselves as that because I have a medical clinic, which we spoke
Yeah.
about before in here. And a lot of my customers are like, oh, yeah, I've always got anxiety. I've had anxiety. I'm like, no, you just get anxiety. You're not like, you're labeling yourself as that all the time. You're going to just constantly manifest that. And it's interesting how many people just don't know about the words they're using. So, how did you figure out from that? Was it from reading that book? That's the
So
like about all your past you had.
so yeah, that was a big thing. And then just so many podcasts that I started researching, and like I was literally going down a rabbit hole of TikTok videos, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of digging into like, okay, what kind of conversations do I tell myself daily? Like, what are my belief systems? I got really vulnerable with myself. And this is something that I teach all of my clients. I say, you have to get real with yourself. Like, you have to just, sometimes it's hard to dig up old wounds if you've had like a traumatic past, or like some
Yeah.
toxicity in your family or something like that, where like a traumatic event happened to you. It can be tough to like dig up those pasts. But the problem is a lot of us just brush it to the back of our minds.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to just get real with yourself and be like, why am I the way that I am? Why is my personality this way? Where do these beliefs stem from?
Mm.
And once you dig deep at that and you do a full on, I like to call it a full on brain dump with yourself on a piece of paper, and just get real on your beliefs and like,
Yeah.
what do I think? What do I tell myself daily? And I realized, oh my God, like it's all me. Like like I used to bully myself and say awful things to myself 24/7. And this is my belief. I was like, I'm just not going to amount to much. Like I'm just one of those mediocre people. And then like I started thinking, oh my God, but in school, I remember this teacher. She was awful. She was awful.
Mine was Mrs. Mandeville. I talk about her so much on my
Oh,
podcast. She comes
really?
so much. Yeah.
I don't even remember her. I don't want to remember her name. But she said this one thing and it stuck with me. And I was like a teenager at the time. And she said to me, you probably won't amount to much. Maybe just stick with beauty.
Oh,
And I'll never forget that. And I think that's a big reason why throughout my adult life, I was like, I'm probably just going to have a very normal life. I probably won't achieve much. And I stuck with that belief system for such
mate,
a
same.
long time.
She told me that I was a stupid little bitch because I was really bad at maths at school. I mean, I'm like a nurse prescriber now. I like work with numbers and
Mm.
I just had a different way of learning it. But I just didn't
Yeah,
get the way she was teaching it because she used to shout at me all the time for talking. She used to say to me, you'll never amount to anything in your life because you talk so much and you're so stupid. And so I
I watch you
carried
now.
that all my life. And anything I ever did, I was always like, oh, but I'm just winging
Yes.
this. I think I'm just winging this. Like, I've only just passed.
Yeah.
But it's weird how you carry that.
It's so mad. And this is
Bloody
why, like,
teachers.
oh my gosh, yeah, like, and that really, I remember my mom telling my mom that she was so angry.
Yeah.
Like, I've been lucky enough to have such a wonderful upbringing in terms of my family. Like, I'm obsessed with my parents.
Yeah.
Like, we have such an amazing relationship. My siblings, like, I have a brother and a sister, and we've
Oh,
got such a lovely family. And they've always been very supportive and like, just you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And my dad's an entrepreneur as well. He's got his own accountancy practice. So I've
He
always
must love it that you're doing all this stuff online.
honestly,
Yeah.
he's so cute. He's so proud.
Like,
He's,
yeah.
yeah, my baby. But he's like, he's a Nigerian man, and he grew up in a lot of struggle. Like, oh my gosh, as you can imagine, back,
Yeah.
he came from a war-torn country, and then he came over to Ireland, and like his stories are amazing. Oh my gosh.
I
So
bet. And then he went
my dad's my
to
hero.
Ireland, which isn't did he live it through the conflicts in Ireland as well? Was
Well,
he
no,
that generation?
it was more like the racism in Ireland back, because my
Oh,
dad's in his 70s, he's his late 70s. So you can imagine back in the 50s, 60s, like how tough it
not,
was for him.
yeah.
So yeah, and he built himself from nothing, like the determination, the strength, the tenacity that my dad has. I'm just like, it's just, I admire him so much, and my mother, like they're both amazing people. So I've always had that kind of like, I want to do my own thing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to just work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life and, be making, I suppose, making someone
Someone
else's
else.
dream come true.
Exactly. You're making someone else's dream and you're making them profit when you can be, and you
Yeah,
will. I know you
exactly.
will. I know you'll be doing this stuff all the time soon anyway, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, 100%. And I can't wait.
So tell us about like a day in the life of your techniques that you use. Because we talk on my
Okay.
app, we've got the spiritual toolbox, and in there,
Yeah.
our members can go in and use meditation and EFT tapping and journaling and all sorts. Tell us how kind of what role that plays in shaping your life and like your day to day kind of do you do journaling? How do you kind of
Yeah.
raise your vibration?
So the first thing, I will never not do a visualization meditation in the morning. That's the first thing I do. I do it yeah, I love it. I do it before I check my phone. I'm in bed and my partner's next to me, and he's like, okay, she's just doing her meditation. I'll leave her to it. He just sees it. He's like, okay.
I
It's
love
so
that.
funny because like he doesn't fully believe in all this stuff. I mean, he kind of does,
But
but he's still
it's funny because my husband was exactly the same. We've been together 8 years now.
really,
And now he's like, babe, I went to the train station today because he gets the train up to London where he works.
yeah.
He's like, I was totally visualizing this space that he likes because it's a bit bigger than all the other ones. And he goes, and every time I think about it on the way there, it's going to be there. And it's fucking there every time. Like, oh, that would be the law of attraction then, my love.
Yes, babe.
And over time, they do start to, and you'll hear them
Start
start to
understanding.
say things as well. Like,
Yeah,
and you're in a disbelief zone. So if you're having a crash,
so
you're like, oh, I'm not believing in myself. And he's like, you're just going to manifest that. Like, come on. Like, you'll hear
that's
them
so
start to talk
true.
back to you how you speak to them. And it's interesting how he'll
It
change.
is. It
Just
is.
totally. Mhm.
Yeah, no, to be fair, when I'm having a down day, he's like, Kate, come on. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like he knows.
Nice.
He knows.
I call Kevin my earth energy. Like, he's my earth
Yeah.
bug. Like, I need him sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
you do your visualization. What else do you do?
yes, I do my meditation visualization, just like you can get them all over YouTube. There's so many different ones that you can do. And then so yeah, I get myself like maybe 10-15 minutes, and then I'll always do mirror work. Oh, mirror work is like my go-to technique. I love it.
So do
Do you
I.
do it?
Every time I do it when I take my makeup off and when I put my makeup on. I've got
Yes.
affirmations on my screen, but I also sometimes
Ooh,
play affirmations and I just
okay.
listen to them and I repeat them out loud while I'm doing them. Or I look into my eye. If I'm having a really shit time, I look into my eyes and I'm like, right, we've got this. And
Listen up, bitch.
yeah, I just talk to myself. Like I look into my eyes, and sometimes I cry. Sometimes I'm like,
Yes.
it's the inner child that needs to cry. And then I'm like, oh, there she is. Like she's back. Yeah. Tell me what mirror.
Yeah.
I love learning what other people do though. So tell me what you do.
So I literally, so I'll go like I'll get up out of bed, and just like when I'm brushing my teeth or whatever, and when I'm starting to do my makeup, I will literally look at myself and be like, I love you. I love you so much. You are a beautiful person inside and out. And I say you are changing people's lives. You are the leader in your field. Like I literally just hype myself up. I'm just like, you're an amazing person. You've been through so much, but look at you now. And you're only getting started, and you're going to get better and better. And I tell myself how beautiful I am. I love my body. I love my face. Like I really hype myself up.
Yeah.
Like I am like, you are
And
stunning. Look at you.
actually come across like that on screen, but not in a like, oh, she loves.
Arrogant way.
When I see you, yeah, when I see you, I'm like, oh, she's got such a lovely energy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I never used to be like that. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't dare. I would find that so weird before. So I had to really just
Yes.
instill this new thing,
It's weird when you get to it, you're like, I'm gonna look with one eye.
Yeah. Am I? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very foreign.
But yeah, so I do that just for like a couple of minutes. And then I'm just like, today's gonna be the best day ever. And I'm like, oh yeah. Sometimes I do a little I do like a little shimmy, a little bit of a dance to release that energy, you know.
And do you know what? It can be this simple for those of you listening to this simple to shift your energy, especially as a woman in the morning. It's got to be in the morning though.
Has to be in the morning, yeah. It does. And then just like, well, I don't do as many techniques now because I feel like I've kind of perfected it over the time. So if I catch myself, you know, doubting myself or certain thoughts are spiraling, then I will always do like an affirmation rampage. I don't know if you do them where you just go like, yes, like you just get yourself all hyped up, or a nervous system regulation technique to get myself back into a calm state of mind. That's huge. I feel like that's not talked about enough. Like that's probably the biggest thing that you can do. If you can keep yourself calm with different techniques like breath work, EFT tapping, like getting out in nature, doing walks, and that becomes a part of your daily practice. Like you've hit the jackpot. Like that's just those techniques.
I think people hear these techniques and they go, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And then they don't actually do it. So when I'm coaching my girls, I'm like, so have you been for your walk today? Have you done your tapping? They're like, well, no, not yet. I'm like, okay, let's do that. And then afterwards they're like, oh God, I feel so good now. I'm like, yeah, sometimes it is.
I just want to shake you.
Like, yeah, one or two little things and that's it. That's all we need to do. But it's the energy input isn't it, to actually do it.
Yeah.
So
and I don't think, I also don't think that they realize how much of an impact it has on your emotional well-being, though. Doing those little techniques, it's just like, oh, I'm breathing, how is that going to change anything? Just do it and see what, and come back to me.
So true. And it can be so quick. Well, I think the more you do it, the quicker you pull yourself out of those times and those things, because we're not supposed to be happy all the time. We're human beings, so we are going to have these big peaks and troughs of energy, so which is normal. So tell us anything else you do. Is there any other little techniques? I can't stand the 5-5-5 method. Like the idea of me writing something down 55 times or 5 times a day. I mean, I've
tried it.
And a bit. I'll pull my hair out. But some people love them.
I have tried all those trendy techniques. When I first started, I was like, I'm trying everything, you know, as you do. I did the 3-6-9. Actually, the 3-6-9 really worked for me. The 3-6-9 method. Have you heard of it? So it's like
three times. No, was it 6 and then 9 times you write? Flying.
So that did work for me. But of course, in setting my daily intentions as well is obviously a big thing, and of what I want to achieve in my day. That's a big one. And then like having gratitude, believing that those things that I've set as my intentions have come true. So really feeling those emotions like as if it's already happened.
When you get in your lowest, like, oh my God, I'm having the worst day today, or I'm having a really low point, what's your top ones to get you out? Are you a tapper? Are you go out for a walk? What's your big ones to shift?
I'm dancing, just getting up. Like if I'm moping on the sofa and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, no, Kate, get your ass up. Get your ass up. Come on, girl, come on. And I'll get up and I'm just literally vibing. I'm like, yes. Or I'll put on like my favorite song. I'll do a breath work.
Breathwork, music, and tapping are mine. Yeah,
I do love tapping as well.
Because I can't if I'm in a really funk, I can't be like, oh, I'm led on the sofa, I'm feeling really shot, I'm going to meditate. That I have to do something else before I meditate. Let's just get in.
I know with the meditation, people do struggle with that, and I struggle with the meditation. Like I can't just be like this with nothing.
You need to get in my app. I'll give you a little link to do the course. There's a 21-day how to manifest, and it's like manifest. There is a course in there called that. 21 days to meditate, and it takes you through, like day 1 is like 2 minutes, and then the next day is 3, and then it builds every day. You get longer and longer. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, 100%. I'll definitely check that out, because I have to do guided meditation. I say that. You see, I've created a belief for myself.
But I can now sit. There's one. I'll send it to you. This piece of that is the only song I can sit and meditate to in silence without any words. It's the only song I can use. I don't know why. I've just found my piece of music that I love. But I have to have someone talk, because my brain is like, oh, you need to get peanut butter for Harley sandwiches. Oh, you need to do, like, that is me. And that I hold crystals all the time when I meditate because I'm so fidgety. Really? But I can sit for long periods of time now. I never used to be able to.
Yeah.
But
that's so, like, maybe I think I can do maybe 15-20 minutes, and after that I get a bit agitated, a bit like, oh. But I do love the guided. Yeah,
but what you'll find as well is, I know when I do like an in-person event, or when I used to have meditation evenings and classes I used to run, people that would come that were like, I can only sit for 10-15 minutes, they would come in a group and they'd be there for half an hour and they'd be like, what was that, like 10 minutes? I'm like, no, you've been led there half an hour. I'm guiding them. But I think when you're in a group, yes, so try going to a class, it might help you.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I'm off to London tomorrow with one of my girls, and we're going to an event. It's called something by candlelight. It's by Megan Rose Lane. Do you know her?
Lovely, yeah.
She's like an influencer. She's all about spirituality and meditation, and it's
Lovely.
going to be meditation, breath work with loads
Oh,
of other women. So I can't wait.
that is so my like weekends now. Like if I see something like that, I'm like, yes, I'm going to meditation. I did an inner goddess retreat a few weeks ago. And that
Ooh.
was all about womb healing. And it wasn't even if you hadn't had babies, it was like to help with your creativeness in January. And so we did loads of healing on our sacral chakras and all that. And that was incredible. And she had a sound bath there. Have you ever done that?
No, what
Sound.
is
Oh
that?
my God.
Oh,
Right.
sorry. Yes. I've seen
Sound.
it, but I don't know.
Those sound bowls, those crystal sound bowls, like they have a vibration that you can't think about anything else. You cannot even, your thoughts
No
can't even go, oh, I
way.
need to get peanut butter. I need to like do this tomorrow. I've got that blog to write. Like there's nothing, it's just nothing. You're just like totally in this beautiful manifestations. I keep saying manifestation day, meditation state.
Meditation.
I've never ever gone so deep in a meditation before. It's beautiful. So much so,
Ooh.
this is me all over. I'm like, maybe I need to buy some bowls. Like
Yeah, I feel like I need to do that because I could get better with my meditation.
yeah, really cool.
Are you someone getting stuck in the mud with your manifestations? Maybe you're trying to call in more money or a house or a partner and you've got no idea where to start. Or maybe you've been manifesting for a while and you're stuck in the mud. Well, my beautiful soul, get ready to embark on a transformative spiritual journey where you get to connect with your sacred power that lives within you. I am thrilled to introduce my Sacred Souls app and our membership, which is a portal of community of women coming together to heal, manifest and elevate each other. Because in this sacred space that I have created for these women, we sync our energies with the moon. We honour the divine, our feminine cycles, which connects all of us. So imagine a sisterhood where healing isn't just encouraged but also celebrated. It's a place where your energy aligns with the lunar cycle and helps your manifestations power up even faster. But not just that, this is more than just our moon rituals that we come together every month and meet on Zoom. Within this app, you get access to my chakra healing course, 21 days to magically manifest, meditations. You get new meditations, subliminals and affirmations every single month, as well as work booklets, access to crystal experts who are coming in and doing masterclasses. We've got Jess from the Journal Club coming in now to do masterclasses. It's a beautiful space. And why do women need to come together? We need to be together to sync our energy with the moon, and that's because collective healing is a force to be reckoned with. And as we unite, we amplify our intentions. You start to manifest a reality filled with love, prosperity, and joy. So don't miss out on this celestial experience. Download the Sacred Souls app now and step into a world where your soul's journey is celebrated. Together we can sync, manifest, meditate, and break free of all those blocks that you have to manifest with ease and grace. Mwah. I'll see you in there.
So tell us a success story that you've had with manifesting. Have you manifested a husband or a sum of money? It might be loads of these, but tell us yours, kind of specific ones that you've had.
Okay, so late 2022, 2023, I was aware of manifestation. I was scripting. I do love scripting. That's actually something I didn't mention about in my my morning
We'll
routine.
talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So I was scripting and I was just setting my intentions and stuff like that. At the time we were looking for a house. Like we were renting the house that I'm in now. We were renting it for 2 years prior. And our landlady had messaged saying, okay, we're looking to sell up. You're going to need to move out soon. We're like, oh no, like we love this place. We had no plans to move. So we were a bit like, oh God. So we're like, screw it. Let's see if we can buy the house. And she was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So we went through the process of buying the house. We were so close for it all coming together. My partner lost his job.
Oh,
So we were like, oh crap. I was like, shit hit the fan. Sometimes that does happen before big things happen, you know yourself. So I was freaking out. I was like, are you kidding me? So we're going to lose the house. He's lost his job, a good paying job. Like, what are we going to do? Freaking out. But I was like, no, this is the unfolding. I was like, I was very strict with myself. No, I was like, Rob, everything's going to be fine. Everything is good. Like, this is good is going to come from this, And this was only me learning about this as well. I wasn't fully the way I am now in terms of my knowledge about it. So couple of weeks later, then he got his job. He got a new job, better paying job, and we got the house. And the landlady at the time, by the way, I was manifesting more money, so like 20k. I was scripting 20k. The landlady gave us the house for 30k less than the like what she had initially said. She was like, "You've been great tenants." She was like, "For the ease, we'll give it to you within the price range that you're looking for." I was like, "What?"
Oh my God, this is so funny
So
because
bad.
one of my biggest like successful TikToks is how we
Yeah.
manifest this house.
No way.
And exactly the same where we came to view and the guy was like, "Listen, make me an offer that I can't
Yeah.
look, we're just about to get married. Like we haven't got we were in a budget of sort of like 500, 600 between us, and
Yeah.
it was on for 900, and we were like nearly a million, and we were like, we cannot afford that. And we were like, I just loved it. I had to come and see it. And Kev's like, there's no point us going to see that house because we cannot afford it. It's got a field, it's got so much land.
Yeah.
It's just totally out of our. I was like, I just need to go and see it. I just need to,
Yeah.
if it's just to help me
Be
manage
there.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we walked in and the guy was here and he was like, I'm going traveling. I've broken up with my wife. I need to get rid of this house. Make me an offer. And we were like, well, listen, we can afford like 600. And he's like, I'll take 605. And we were like, we hadn't even like got round the house and we'd had this chat and we were like, the estate agent hadn't even turned up and we were like,
No
listen, he wants to
way.
sell it to us for this price. Can we get this going? We'd moved in within 7 weeks after that. Yeah.
Stop it. Oh, I love that
I
stuff.
always tell
Amazing.
people who are looking for houses, don't just look at houses in your price bracket because you might go to a house that they're like, oh, actually, do you know what? Fuck it, let's just drop the price and get rid of it.
Oh,
So
100%. So cool. I love that stuff. So nice. So yeah, so that was a big one. But other than that, there's been loads of different things. Like I was looking for a better job at the time. I wasn't actually looking for a better job, but I was, again, a lot of the time I was trying to manifest like financial abundance. I ended up getting a job that was 15k more than what I was on, and at the time I was manifesting 10k at the time. A lot of stuff like with my men.
back and go, shit, why didn't I put like 50k or why didn't
I know, damn it. Well, I'm going for more now, don't you worry. And also with my engagement, funnily enough, my partner had this ring since 2021. Don't know what took so long. It happened last year. A week before he had proposed, I made a video for myself saying, "Oh my God, I just got engaged. I'm so excited. This is insane." And then a week later, he freaking proposed. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
I love that.
I
That's
know.
cool.
So cool. Yeah. And then just like obviously the big community that I have on TikTok, like I never thought 90k nearly, which is just insane. Never thought like start of the year I was only on like 15.
That's brilliant. I'm so well done.
Yeah.
So many people that have this negative view of manifesting, and you will get this in your comments. I do. I don't actually get a lot of hate on TikTok. I love it on there. I don't really see a lot. I used to on Instagram, but not here. What's the kind of the common misconceptions you think people have about manifesting, and how do you want to clarify or debunk it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, as we kind of said at the start of the podcast, or maybe we said it before we recorded, is that people just think it's like, oh, I can just think about something and I'll get it. That's how manifestation works, isn't it? And then when it doesn't come, it's like, oh, it's a load of crap.
Yes.
That's bullshit. It's just weird, mystical, fairy stuff. What they don't get is that it's something that we do on autopilot and we don't even realize. And it's from our unconscious and conscious thoughts and our beliefs and our emotions that we carry with us all the time. You know, we're very energetic beings and people don't get that. And they don't realize that we operate on different vibrational frequencies, as you know yourself. And we live in a very attraction-based universe. So what we put out, we will always get back. Yeah. There's no way around it. There's no off button.
What would you tell someone who's at the moment in that zone of like, I've tried to manifest money and it's a load of shit, it doesn't work? What would you say to that listener? Because I get a lot of questions like that on my podcast.
Oh, yeah, I do as well.
I'm just a podcast and I'm trying to manifest and it's a load of shit, it doesn't work. And I'm like, okay.
And I would say is you saying it's a load of shit is why it's not working.
Yeah, you're putting the shit word out there. It's coming back.
Exactly. So it's their limiting beliefs. It's their conversations that they're, you know, a big thing for me is having a very strict mental diet. And when I say mental diet, I mean
okay, that is like a light bulb for our podcast.
Yeah.
A strict mental
diet.
That's gold.
you need to be so careful with the information that you're absorbing, that you're letting in to your subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is like a computer. It's taking data 24/7. So everything that you were like, conversations that you were getting involved in, the content you were watching, the music, like your words cast spells, like the music that you're letting get into your subconscious mind. Like it's all creating. You don't even realize the profound impact it's having on you. So you have to be so conscious of where your focus is going throughout the day. You have to be so conscious with, like, are you complaining about the cost of living? Are you watching the news every day, worrying about it? Well,
It's
then,
what's fascinating is the amount of people I coach who
yeah.
are really depressed that watch the news every day. And
Well,
I'm
there
like,
you go. And that's
hey,
exactly why.
cut that out. Yeah, let's cut that shit out. If I walk in the lounge and my husband's got the news on in the morning, I'm like, no, Alan Titchmarsh this morning about gardening and owls this morning, please. Like, babe, I don't want to watch this about fucking
No.
42, nearly 43.
You
And
look amazing. Oh my gosh, I thought you were in your 30s, girl.
I'm
You're
watching,
manifesting that skincare.
I was like, and I'm watching gardening programs rather than the news. Yes.
100%. Like, you have to be so, because at the end of the day, the media channels, they just push out like anxiety inducing content all the time. And I don't want to go down that route of like all that
Okay,
stuff.
because it's really good to talk
Okay.
about this, because we need to tell people why that we say this. And this is
Okay.
my view on it, is that they want to pursue this kind of this narrative of negativity, and they want us to be sick so that they can then sell us medication. That's my nurse side coming in here. So that then they're like, oh no, we don't want you to look at mindset and meditation and all of this sort of stuff and grounding and getting out in nature, because you're going to feel fucking good. And then you're not sick later, so we can make money from you. So that's my
This is an interesting thing, because you being a nurse, that
yeah.
must be quite,
Yeah. So when I
like,
did
how
my
do you
nurse
navigate
prescribers,
that?
yeah, so I did my nurse prescribers degree, and we
Yeah.
had to learn, which is where my witchy side comes back, and we had to learn all the old ways of medicine as well. So part of that course was very interesting, like the herbalist kind of side of it. And
Mm.
some people do end up going down the naturopath route as doctors and nurses and things. They go down the more natural route, or they choose to go down the more prescribing, that's fine. And there
Yeah.
is a place in this world for certain medications, like when you're super sick, an antibiotic,
Of course.
yeah.
Yes.
Where my I kind of where my lid is
Line.
with
Yeah. Yeah.
medication is how many young people I'm seeing, and this is family and people and friends and
Yeah.
customers, kids who are 18 on antidepressants. And I'm like, nah. That
No.
unless they have got a severe mental illness, then of course there's a place for it to bring their levels up. But then it's almost like, let's prescribe and then not do anything else. So they're getting this prescription medication, and the doctors aren't like, okay, I want you every day religiously to be out in nature walking for 45 minutes minimum. Otherwise, you're not going to have these meds. Like, there needs to be a level of strictness around coaching them on exercise. And I'm not talking a big fancy gym membership. A
No.
walk outside every day for 45 minutes will change that person's life. And the amount of customers I see that's like, oh, can you prescribe me my medication? I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
No.
I was like, nah, I'm going to prescribe you a walk every day and meditation every day. And they're like, Rebecca, you've literally changed my life from teaching me to do that. I was like, it's more effort. Of course, it's more effort to go for a walk than it is to pop a pill. And there are places in this world for antidepressants. Like, I've had friends that have used them and come off them, and they were in a really dark place and they needed that med to come up to a level. But I just think they're abused. They're not used how they should be. Yeah, there's
I think it's definitely become too normalized, the
yes.
whole thing, and it's like, and the thing is, I don't want to undermine mental health, because
You're
do
not.
you know
You're
what I mean?
not. Say what you think.
That's the
Say what
thing. Because I know how awful it is. Sure, I've been there for years. But then I also am very aware that I created that myself. Like, I instilled that belief so deeply within me. Therefore that my reality would of course reflect that, because that was a belief that I created for myself for such a long time. So I did have periods where, I went through a very, very traumatic event in 2020. Like, it was horrendous. Like, I actually had a psychotic breakdown. I had psychosis, and I was sectioned. So through that event that happened, like, I didn't know what was real, what was, like, I had no rationale of what was real, what was fake. It was horrendous. And I was sectioned, and I did go through a lot of like PTSD after that, and I was on tablets for years. And but I was so upset, like, I was so reliant on these tablets. And I'd be like, well, I can't, like, my biggest thing was I had insomnia, and I kept seeing images of what happened to me. But I was like, if I take this tablet, I'll have a good night. And I was so firm on that's what I need to take the tablets. I can't wean myself off. That's it.
Yeah.
And then once I started getting into this, I didn't even wean myself off gradually. And I'm not saying, disclaimer, to do that, but
My dad did the same. He was sectioned probably, I think it was 10 years ago. So he had a big mental breakdown, psychosis in a mental home. And same as you, kind of took himself out of it. I mean, he's not great now. He's kind of a little bit okay.
Yeah.
Smokes a lot of things that he shouldn't do, my dad. But he's kind of in a place where he's a lot happier. But he said the same. He just was like, I'm coming off these. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
And just disclaimer here, we're not saying that if you are on psychosis medication is very different to your traditional go to the doctors, get some antidepressants. It's much.
It wasn't actually psychosis medication that I was on. I was on amitriptyline, which is like it helps for insomnia and stuff.
So crazy though.
Oh, why have you been on that before?
I had it when I really hurt my shoulder. I put my shoulder out in boxing class once, and they gave me that for the pain. And I felt like I'd taken magic mushrooms or something. I was like,
oh no, I didn't get that now. I didn't really get that. I think I had quite a mild dose, but because I didn't mention the psychosis was actually brought on. Well, obviously I was in a terrible mindset at the time, but I actually had a urinary tract infection that caused its psychosis, and it was asymptomatic, so I didn't have symptoms. Yeah.
That happens a lot with old people, because I remember in nursing, when we used to work in nursing homes, and they'd be like, oh, they're going crazy. They'd have a urine infection. I go, yeah, I remember that from when
another thing for us women to deal with, eh?
You're so brave though, talking about that. Thank you for sharing that with us, because that's really hard thing for some people to talk about. I'm very brave, and you will. I know people will listen to that and just be really inspired by how far you've come. But it's interesting to hear how incredible you are, and you should praise yourself for this, from being in that place and then going, hang on, it's me. I need to do the fucking work on me, because I'm going to attract this negativity again. I'm going to be in the same place in 10 years time than I am now. But so many people don't, because it's actually easier to sit and fester as a victim and be like, okay, because I've had some horrendous things happen to myself, and it's like I could easily have become a drug addict or an alcoholic, or things that have happened to me, and I'm like, you know what, actually I can make myself better, I can shift. But I think me and you, our place online really is helping people to realize that, and for them to say, hey, these girls have been through these really shitty things, but actually using their own mind and the powers of manifestation. And we talked about this before we recorded, how we're not psychic. Well, I think all of us have that. We have this element in us, don't we? Like when we get decorated and things like that. I think and I know that we all have this intrinsically within us. We're born as women with intuition. We're born being able to manifest. It's just whether we choose to use those powers. And have you found that really over the years, you felt you've become more in tune with the universe and in tune with your downloads, psychic side? Yeah. How would you describe that?
Yes, 100%. I'll actually give you an example of like a manifestation that came true when I used my intuition and those nudges that I kind of received. So it was like October, November time. I was manifesting like a community of 50k at the time on TikTok. I think I was on like 20 something. And I was sitting with my partner. It was like 9 p.m. and we were just chilling. I was obviously very heavy into this now. And so I felt like I was in alignment, and I would always kind of get different kind of, I suppose, ideas about like ideas and aligned action, that kind of thing. But I was sitting on the sofa and I got this nudge. I was like, I have to go make a piece of content, and it was for a specific subject. And I was like, oh my god, I really need to. Rob was like, what are you doing? Like, we're in the middle of a program, we're chilling. Like, why are you going to make content now? I was like, I need to go make content. He's like, all right. So I went and I made this kind of like aspirational, motivational type content, and it went crazy viral. And I got my 50k. I got my 50k community that I had been manifesting.
So cool that you get this as well, because I always get it when I'm up in the woods and I'm walking, and I'll get like a random, like weird idea. So recently, one was like, I really wanted to touch this tree in the woods, right? Have you ever like put your hand on a tree and you just feel really good afterwards? But I was like scouting for anyone around me. Looking, and then I was like, why do we do that? Why are we so fucking scared of people seeing us touch a tree? So I googled it, and then there's all this history of these people that were called the tree huggers back in the 1800s that like clung to all these trees, and all these women were killed. And I was just like, okay, this is like, and I just shared it on TikTok, and I had, no joke, hundreds of messages. Like, I was just like, that was really weird to have that thought, Google it, share it on my TikTok, not my normal content.
No.
And then all these people started following me and that's how
There
I
you go.
build my following. It's really weird, like the nudges we get, and you're going to get more of those because I get them for courses, and I'm like, really? Should I do a course on chakras? And I'm interested in chakras, and I'm a meditation, and I made this course, and it was the biggest course I've ever sold. I was like,
No way.
yeah,
I need to look at that course because I don't really understand that kind of stuff, like the chakras and stuff.
really interesting. It's really gentle, actually, chakras, and really, like, your chakras are connected to different parts of you. Like the root is money, fear, stability, and then you move up to like creativity. Your throat is speaking, third eye is your psychic side. So actually, the more you work through them, the more intuitive I got from writing the course. So the more research I was doing, and I've done we taught loads of it in our meditation training anyway, and I knew loads of it from my law of attraction training. But then I started to piece it all together, everything I'd learned, and I made a course out of it. And it was like the most successful course I ever did, and I thought it'd be my manifesting ones. It's really weird, isn't it, when you get those nudges,
I love that.
the little
That's so
guides.
cool.
So
I love that.
I'm going to pull a card for us, but while I'm shuffling, I ask all of my guests this at the end of our podcast. 5 years from now, you're going to listen back to this podcast and you're going to be like, oh, I said that I was going to manifest that and it's fucking happened.
Yeah.
What's the big, there might be a few things. What's the
loads.
5 years from now? What does Coco's life look like?
Okay, so obviously married. We need to sort that out ASAP. With a baby, I would like to have a baby. Then just doing workshops all around Ireland and the UK, like that's a huge thing for me. Like I really want to just spread the word and be
with me at
yes, girl.
Yes.
Workshops, have my dream home by the beach. That is a huge thing. Like that's been on my vision board as well, like my dream home by the beach. And just like be the happiest, healthiest version of myself, like a really successful brand, have a podcast, that's a huge one. And also like a YouTube channel. I need to start my YouTube. And just have like courses and lots of resources and just like healthy, happy friends, happy, healthy. And just be my highest version of myself.
Love that. So the card I pulled today is Freya, and this is about being bold. There you go. This is for you as well.
Oh, wow.
So unleash your adventurous side and take risks by being daring. Start a podcast. No, it doesn't say start a podcast.
Oh my gosh, I nearly had chills.
It doesn't say that. So don't play it safe right now. Instead, take big, bold action in the direction of your true heart's desire. Success comes not just from timidity, but from committing yourself fully to realizing your dream. Hold the clear intention of success in your mind, and it will come about to you quicker than you think. Enjoy the excitement of taking risks, of being bold and being daring, and be sure to celebrate your success with a party or splurging out on a wonderful indulgence for yourself.
Ooh, I love that. That's so cool.
And a picture of those of you that are listening to this, not looking at it on YouTube, this is a woman on a chariot with a big mountain in the back. She's got angel wings. Oh yeah, she's a bold one.
Love that.
I had these cards since I went traveling in Australia, right? Look at them. They used to be gold and now like this faded yellow. That's how old but we love them. Anyway, I have loved having you.
Oh, I've loved it so
find
much.
You. Tell us how they can find you. Are you on Instagram as well as TikTok?
Yes. So TikTok and Instagram alignment_with_Koko. Alignment
and
with
I'm
Koko.
sure I have a little download coming through that we'll be doing together in the future because we've just found out we live near each other. Which I'm like, we're definitely this. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, everybody. And don't forget to do a review if you've loved today, which I'm sure you have, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm sending you a huge virtual squishy hug, and I hope today's episode has helped giving you some inspiration, energy, and a light bulb moment. So do share your light bulbs or any takeaways you've had on your socials and tag me in, as I absolutely love to hear from you. So if you love to share, you are going to love my giveaway. Every month I'm running a new competition to win a large moon box packed full of crystals, candles, affirmation cards, incense, my Love Yourself to the Moon and Back journal, and a real surprise of spiritual treats that change every month. So listen up if you want to win and get your hands on this, because all you have to do is, number 1, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Number 2, tag me on your socials with either a post, video or story of your top takeaway of that specific episode. Be sure to tag me in as @RebeccaWellstead-Green so that I see it, and you'll be entered into my free prize draw. So from my heart to yours, lots of love to the moon and back. Have a fabulous week, beautiful, and I can't wait to spend time with you again next week. Mwah.